looks like there's no way, and the lies come like a flood. Oh, I know my God. So I set my eyes above, and I realign my heart where my help comes from. I trust, 'cause I know my God.
Alright everybody, gotta bear with me, I don't have a cameraman tonight. Tonight what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over all the, a couple things tonight about my daughter's case, the Fayette County Sheriff's Office, and the prosecutor. So, I'm going to play a tape with the prosecutor on there, and also with the one of the detectives at the Fayette County Sheriff's Office. And I want everybody to see what I am seeing and why I'm doing what I'm doing about my little girl. So I'm going to play that, and then there's some things I'm going to try to show you guys tonight and stuff on my board and everything. And we're going to talk about William Potter's DNA test and everything. So if everybody can bear with me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to start the tape. Now there's a delay on my phone where I'm watching it. And if everybody could give me thumbs up to let me know you can hear everything that's being said on the tape. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start that tape. And this one is the Fayette County Sheriff's Office, the leading detective on Mackenzie's case. Testing. 1, 2, 3. 17. Talking with Ryan McFarland, detective of the Fayette County Sheriff's Office. Pickup truck?
Yeah, mine was shot. Did one of those tapes start out you and Mary Ann were talking, and she accused you of cheating on her and said something like that, and then the conversation went into her meeting at the Coliseum or something like that? Was that one of the tapes you're talking about?
No.
I'll just make this okay.
There's 2 of them.
Yeah, there's a bunch of tapes. I'm still
So there's 2 tapes. And they look like, they're cassettes.
just regular size cassettes.
Regular size cassettes. They're black and gold. But the thing of it is, like I was saying, is the tapes that I had, like with Dusty Roots on it and all that stuff, Evil Hall came, they got it all. They sent me back the exact tapes I gave them and copied everything to a CD. And that's what I don't understand. And I have a signed affidavit who was with me at the time when I turned the tapes over to Detective Branham. Because, like I said, Mary Ann talks about the fire. She even talks on one of the tapes, she even says, why didn't they test for diesel fuel? She even talks about the kerosene heaters. She talks about where she exited in and out of the building, all that, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. And I need those tapes.
Okay. I'm still looking. I'm going to listen to them to see.
The reason why is it's nothing against you, like I said. You came into this after Detective Brown died. And I told you that I wouldn't hold you reliable for anything because you just came into this. All this stuff was presented and given, you know what I'm saying, before.
And it's hard for me to play catch up on a lot of stuff and know where a lot.
But here's the problem you have, though. And I'm not saying this in a rude way, and I don't want you to take this in a rude way, but you have nothing. You have nothing. What do you have? I mean, the clothes are destroyed, so you'll never be able to do anything with those. The ladder's gone, you'll never be able to do anything with that. If it wasn't for me finding that coroner's report, you wouldn't even have that, which, when you read that coroner's report, and you can't sit here and tell me because you're a detective, that thing don't explain a lot. It does.
It says
because here's the thing, the fireman had no reason. Out of here. She tore this away, and that's the letter. And she signed that one. That's the statement I gave it to you. But see that right there? That's what I was looking for. See that funny how they wrote my dog? That D right there? Alright everybody, I'm going to stop the tape right there. I had some internet difficulties. So, I'm going to ask somebody, okay, I see where it says buffering, so I'm going to rewind it a little bit, go back a little bit. basket says the black and gold. But the thing of it is, like I was saying, is the tapes that I had, like with Dusty Ruth on it and all that stuff, Evil Hall came, they got it all, they sent me back the exact tapes I gave them and copied everything to a CD. And that's what I don't understand. And I have a signed affidavit who was with me at the time when I turned the tapes over to Detective Brown. Because, like I said, Mary Ann talks about the fire. She even talks on one of the tapes, she even says, why didn't they test for diesel fuel? She even talks about the kerosene heater. She talks about where she exited in and out of the building, all that, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. And I need those tapes.
Okay. I'm still looking. I gotta listen to them to see.
The reason why is it's nothing against you, like I said. You came into this after Detective Brown died. And I told you that I wouldn't hold you reliable for anything because you just came into this. All this stuff was presented and given, you know what I'm saying, before.
And that's it's hard for me to play catch up on a lot of this stuff and remember a lot.
But here's the problem you have, though. And I'm not saying this in a rude way, and I don't want you to take this in a rude way, but you have nothing.
Maybe as far as that.
You have nothing. What do you have? I mean, the clothes are destroyed, so you'll never be able to do anything with those. The ladder is gone, you'll never be able to do anything with that. If it wasn't for me finding that coroner's report, you wouldn't even have that, which, when you read that coroner's report, and you can't sit here and tell me because you're a detective, that thing don't explain a lot. It does.
It says
because here's the thing, the firemen have no reason to lie.
Right.
They have no reason whatsoever to lie about what they saw when they got to that scene. They have no time with me, they have no time with Mary Ann, they have nothing, you know what I'm saying? They told what they saw. And the biggest thing that's catching everybody's eyes is the hesitation of the 20 minutes telling somebody that that child was in the house. And you know as well as I do, that 20 minutes makes a big difference on how Mackenzie would have come out of that house 20 minutes earlier.
Is that the letter?
This is the letter.
How many times have you seen it for a handle?
I don't know. Quite a few times to read it. And my wife also. She's the one that opened it up. But you can see the licking part is still sealed. She tore this away. And that's the letter. And I want you to sign that one. That's the statement I gave to you. But see that right there? That's what I was looking for. See that funny how they wrote my dog? That D right there? That's a weird, you know what I'm saying? That's like a one-of-a-kind D. And you can tell that here's what I saw bigger than crap in my glasses. Look at this right here. This is what I call them real quick too. See that right there, that zip code? Okay? At first they were putting 43128. See it? Which is Jeffersonville's zip code. And then they realized that they put their own zip code and then they changed it to 6 and a 0. You see how they darkened the 0 real quick over the 8?
I don't see the 2 and the 6, but I see that something's over the 0 and changed. I see the 6.
Okay, now take away the top of that. See where that line goes right there? The line goes towards the 0. And then there's a little 2. 4, 3, 1, 2. See how it,
I don't see it.
But then see the 8 in there inside the circle?
See there's
Where it looks like someone tried to write an 8. Yeah. But here's my question about this. And I want to know the answer on this, because this is my house. This is my family, and this is my, you know what I'm saying? I don't need an incident where I'm going to end up hurting somebody coming to my house, trying to shut me up or whatever. I believe this was wrote by 2 people, Derek Myers or Leonard Sines. That's who I believe wrote it. That's who I believe it came from.
either one of those could, it could be either one of those. I mean, it could be. Okay, here's what I want you to do. I don't want to touch it, because I don't want my fingerprints on it, and it can't be in that plastic bag.
Oh, it can't be?
Cannot be. So I want you to put it in here for me.
Okay.
Don't touch it. Touch it the least amount you can.
Well, I mean, I'll touch it too.
Now, here's the next thing I need. You and Kim have to come up to the sheriff's office and have fingerprints done, because I had to send elimination prints in with this.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I just want to know who wrote it. And if we don't have fingerprints on it, and we don't have, what do you call it, DNA on that, where they leaked it, that tells me that somebody knows what they're doing. That don't want to be caught.
Well, and they really have to think about it in order to not touch it. You know, they have to, before they start, they have to have latex glove. You know, from the time they got that piece of paper out of wherever they got it from, it can't be touched. You know, so they really had to think about that. Now, as far as the licking thing,
Yeah.
you won't surprise me if they just took it away.
Well, right, a lot of people do that, right? Now, this here I gave to Jesse Weed. And this is something I think you need to know. I don't know if he let you know yet, but it's something you need to know. That was sent to me on Facebook. And I can show you on Facebook. Printed that off for you.
This is my copy?
Yeah. Now he took a name. Jesse Lee took the name down. He wrote witness beside it, and he's supposed to have these two drugs tested. Because the sister that worked at that bar still lives here in the courthouse. But I had it on my phone if you need it sent or whatever. But here's the thing. That girl don't know me. I've never mentioned the drug to anybody. And me and you never actually sat down and like really gone over what I have, you have it, and my stories of me and Mary Ann's relationship. And one of the things, Mary Ann gave my kid vinegar all the time. I caught her when I would wake up in the middle of the night when the babies would scream, she would be giving them vinegar. Because vinegar would make them go right back to sleep. And I got some woman coming to me saying the same thing, you know what I'm saying? That Mary Ann admitted giving, a child vinegar. Now, I don't know as far as how DNA is or technology.
Did she say what her sister Kathy's last name is now?
Did she put it on there?
She said, that's my sister Kathy. Her name's Friday. I'm guessing she probably married.
Yeah, I thought maybe she listed it right here. Some Kathy who lives in Jeff
Wilson, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, Kathy Pierce Wilson. Right?
Pierce Wilson. There you go. And the thing of it is, man, I mean, I want, like I said, I talked to Ron Steeman yesterday, the day before. And I told him, I said, I'm trying to give Ryan all the benefit of this. But at the same token, you got to understand my point of view with Vernon's standpoint. Now, I know you guys are going to say, well, you know, this, and everything. But there's so many fingers pointing at Vernon Sanford and Mike Stevens with the covering up part. Now, I don't know what part of the investigation you're doing in this. I don't understand the thing, but I had a conversation with Vernon on the phone, and he yelled and screamed at me and called me everything but a white man. Because I got the media involved in it. You gotta understand, this is 11 years, okay? In an 10 years, the Fayette County Sheriff's Office had this case. 10 years, y'all had it. 10 years it didn't go nowhere, and it did. You cannot bring me one thing and sit there and say, here's what we've done in 2009, here's what we did in 2011. But since I took over, which I warned everybody I was going to do what I was going to do, and in less than since January of 2017 till now, look what I found.
As far as the cover up here, I'm not going to get into the argument, but I want you to think about something. From the beginning, the state fire marshal was involved in.
Yes.
So they would have to help cover up stuff.
How? Because he even said that ladder was sitting in the evidence room on the wall.
In our evidence room?
Yes. Where Ron Stevens saw it. It actually was in there in the evidence room against the wall.
Guarantee it wasn't. Guarantee it wasn't, because I am part of the people.
Back when he first, yes, it was. And I don't believe Ron Stevens got a reason to lie that he saw the ladder thing. And I saw the ladder.
The same ladder, but
the ladder was in the back of that truck. Well, a truck like that right there with a cap on it. I saw the ladder at the crime scene in the truck, in the sheriff's vehicle. I mean, here's the thing, you don't lose a ladder.
Here's something. Okay. The state fire marshal's been involved in it and tried to piece apart it and see what it is.
Crime scene in the truck, in the sheriff's vehicle. I mean, here's the thing, you don't lose a ladder.
Here's something. Okay. The state fire marshal's been involved in it from day one.
Okay.
That's how it happened. Because they're the one who made a determination it was an arson in the first place.
Right.
Okay. BCI looked at this and investigated this.
BCI didn't investigate this. But go ahead. I'm not going to argue with you.
This case has been sent to a private think tank, a group of people who sit down, who are law enforcement people, and they sit and discuss it and look at it and do other things, and try to piece it apart and see what it is. None of those people have ever said anything about anything being covered up. And I want you to know that I would never allow that to happen. If I thought something had been covered up, I would take it.
Okay, but you show me, bring me one officer to my house. Bring one officer to my house, and I'll shut up about it. Bring one officer to my house that tells me those clothes weren't relevant to this case.
There's nothing we can do about the clothes now, Donald.
No, I know. But bring one officer to my house that can say those clothes are not relevant to this case.
I don't know if any of them might say that. But I'm telling you.
Would you say that?
I would have kept the clothes, I believe.
For later testing?
If you have a homicide, if you have a suicide, you keep the clothes.
Right. But you weren't in this. That's what I'm saying. I'm not beating you up. Trust me, if I was, I'd be putting your name out there like everybody else is. I'm not saying that. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt of saying there's something wrong with this whole entire case. You got to think about this. In that report, and even in your old sheriff report, it said Kenny had injuries, but no photographs were taken. And you can't go back and say, well, we don't know why Detective Brown didn't do that. We don't know why Dr. Gay did this. We don't know why.
Well, I can't say that. That's the only thing I can say.
Right, but here's the thing. If you look at this right here, this is the best thing ever came out. And it tells you exactly about everything you're supposed to do. Just like it says the first thing you're supposed to do, and Ron Steeman agreed with this, and so did some other detectives. The first thing, every fire is supposed to be treated as an arson first, then proved as an accident. Arson first. That way you start doing your crime scene immediately. Okay? Even in this evening right here, which this was published in 1991, right after, and then it was brought out again when the 9/11 happened, because there was errors made in that. The thing of it is close one, but just like Marianne and Kenny, okay? It says even in here, the remaining victims are supposed to be brought in immediately and interviewed, which they weren't.
Okay, well, that whole logic has changed. That's why this was in 1991. I have been to plenty of schools on interviewing victims. You do not do that now.
Why?
3 sleep cycles.
We need 3
Sleep cycles. People need to sleep 3 times because if you have a traumatic experience, your brain does not function the way it should, and you don't remember things and you don't say the right things until after 3 sleep cycles.
Okay, well, even after 3 sleep cycles, now that would be stupid because it also says you're supposed to remove any clothing or anything on those victims. That was never done. To see if there was any signs of fuel or whatever was used to set my daughter's house on fire, you know what I'm saying? Then let's go back to the pickup truck. You can't sit here and tell me that pickup truck should have been able to drive away from that crime scene. That truck was sitting in the middle of the road. You all have no...
Donald, hold on a second. I can't do anything to change anything. You're pissed off that it happened, or things didn't happen, and I understand that. I cannot do anything today. You can't, no one can do anything today to change those things. It's not going to happen. If you continue to dwell on those things, you're just pissing yourself off because we can't do anything that... Is there anything that you know of that we can do to change any of that stuff now?
No, but
We have to do what we've got now.
Truck, and you ain't gonna be able to use it because I already know the truth is once evidence, like we talked about, the stuff that Marianne took out of Mackenzie's room, we can't even go to her house and get that stuff. And there could be a hair on there that said who was in that room, but we can't do nothing because how can we prove that hair wasn't put afterwards?
Right.
All right. So, and I know that I know what you're saying, but still, you gotta understand. You got kids, right?
Yes.
So you got to understand why I'm pissed over this.
I understand that, but we can't change any of it now. We need to work with what we've got and move forward.
Okay, what do we have? Honestly, what do we have?
Well, we just exhumed her body.
Yeah, and
that stuff needs to go for
okay, and that's another question too. Why haven't I gotten the preliminary on that yet?
Preliminary on what?
The preliminary pathology.
We haven't got it yet.
The preliminary? I'm not saying. You know what?
They're not doing. Hold on.
This.
Hold on. They're not doing that again.
Why?
They are doing in addition to that.
Okay, why? I don't understand when I got this receipt, these papers, this is what Dr. K gave me, this is what Montgomery Cat got.
Right.
But where was the pathology one?
That is pathology.
That's toxology. Pathology would show where you all tested skin tissue.
That's pathology.
Where?
This is toxicology.
That's toxicology. There's no pathology.
I don't know. What did they do?
I don't know. I'm not asking you.
Did they do it? We never have pathology on our reports.
Why? You don't know if they checked under her fingernails for skin tissue? No one.
Is it in there?
No. Ain't nothing in there about fingernails. Ain't nothing in there that they
because that will show in this report. When it gets to the
what I'm saying is preliminary this is a preliminary report. That's what this is called.
No, this is the post-mortem examination. This is
preliminary because it would not tell me what you all actually found if there was something you found.
No,
that's going to go to trial.
This is not a preliminary report. This is the coroner's report. This is the autopsy report. That is the coroner's verdict.
Right.
That's all there is.
Why is that all there is?
Because that's what they do. That's what they give us. But if you go through here and they would have done some things.
They didn't say nothing in there about skin underneath nails if they checked fingernails.
It would have been stated in there.
It's not.
I understand that. But it would have been stated in there.
Oh, would have been?
Yeah.
Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
But it's not.
It's not.
So what was done here? That?
Yes. We were doing things to make sure that we have everything that we need to have. That's best.
Okay, now what about drugs?
What about it?
Like the 2 drugs I mentioned. Were they testing for drugs too? No.
No longer in the body.
What do you mean no longer in the body?
They only have a certain half-life.
Really?
They only last
7 years. They can dig up a person and check for drugs. It's called crystal lights. That's where they check for crystals. That's how they found out that people nowadays were murdered by people using antifreeze, by crystal lights. You understand what I'm saying? So then by me giving those two drugs to disagree, him sending over to Montgomery County wouldn't have done him any good anyway, because they weren't checking for him.
If they still have her blood sample there.
Should have it though. That's what I'm saying. There's nothing that should be destroyed until this case is final. But everything that they did over there should have went into wherever they put it at. Their blood, the child's blood, everything, hair. But see, that's the thing.
I don't know what they're referring to.
See, I have her hair. I have her hair. After her death, I have it. So I can have it tested. Because I got it. Because they Morrow cut her hair for me and put it in the envelope. So I have like 20-something samples of her hair. But that's what I'm saying. I don't understand Montgomery County theory on this that, okay, Fayette County saying they don't need none of this, so we'll just get rid of it.
I don't know either.
Because
Dr. Gay made that call.
When there's
I don't know if Dr. Gay and Phil Brown had a conversation or not. I can't tell you that. I don't know if Dr. Gay called over and said,
well, here's the other thing too. Okay, we know that Dr. Gay never went in her room either. He never sealed off the crime scene. You know what I'm saying? Taped it off. He did not remove any sheets. They did not remove any sheets. They did not remove any stuffed animals. But Mary Ann has that now. But they didn't remove nothing, and I don't understand that part either. Crime scenes have always been the same for years. For years. Way before. Mackenzie died in 2006.
we're back to the same place.
Okay, so what do we got? Well, you tell me how in the world we're going to solve this. Please do not tell me what Bernie said. We're going to sit here and wait till somebody walks in this office and sits down and says, okay, Ryan McFarland, I did it. Please don't tell me that's what you're basing this case on.
We have to send the things and get them examined from exhumed the body.
Okay? And if there's nothing
hopefully, our hope is that will tell us something.
Okay. When we get a chance, me and you need to sit down, because I did do a medium. I've never done one in my entire life. Medium where they talk to the dead. Okay? That medium, I want you to listen to that tape. Because she mentions stuff on that tape that there's no way this woman, she's from Texas, I'm getting ready to do another one with her. There's no way this lady could find out any of this information. And one of the things that she mentioned on that tape, which you probably don't even know it because I've never discussed it with you, but me and Ron Steeman discussed it right after the fire, that Mackenzie had a padlock out on her bedroom door. Okay? Oh, I didn't tell you about it? Okay. That medium talked about that in this thing. And what Mackenzie's telling about the door, the bedroom, and she even, Mackenzie said that there was evidence on the bed and on her clothes. This woman is from Texas. Somebody else paid for this to be done for me. Now the lady's doing it for free. But I would like for you, I take the medium thing, the whole.
Was there a phone or?
No, it was where you do like
Skype or something?
Yeah, where I'm looking at her and she's looking at me. But this lady, she never asks me a question. She never says, you know how some people will feed off of what your answer is. Never asks me a question. But I would love for you to listen to it just to see, because there's nothing wrong with those people. I've seen law enforcement use them before. Remember that lady Judy Brown, I think was her name, or Sylvia Brown? She used to be on TV. She did a lot with the law. Now she's probably in her 90s. But there's no reason, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes those people can lead you to something that you're not looking at.
Yeah, that's true.
But Mackenzie kept talking about also in this uncle. Now, I'm going to tell you, I don't know if you've interviewed Jamie Potter or not. I don't know if you have.
No, I haven't.
But I believe he was there a lot longer than what he's saying. A lot longer than what he's saying. And if you go by my theory, and it's a theory, like you said, you do listen to me, and I know you do. I believe Jamie wasn't there to pick up 2 pizzas. I believe Jamie was there to actually pick Mackenzie up, and I believe Mackenzie didn't want to go. And I believe the reason she didn't want to go is because I believe he was one of them that was messing with Mackenzie. You know what I'm saying? Sexually. I'm not saying that he penetrated her, but I believe he was doing some things. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that was her fear. She didn't want to go, and that's why she made a comment. I'm going with my dad this weekend. I'm not going with you. And he said, remember that he was there telling her that he was getting her that weekend, that Marianne and Kenny were leaving that weekend. And so here's the thing with that story. But then Marianne says in a statement, and I've got statements of Marianne, she said that Mackenzie was having a yard sale that weekend. They were having a yard sale. So why would Jamie say the statement he made that Mackenzie was leaving with him, and Marianne saying they weren't going anywhere? That, you see what I'm saying? That's two family members, and they both got two different stories. One saying they were going to be there that weekend, they were having a yard sale. Jamie says they were leaving out of town, and Mackenzie was there going to go with him, and she made a comment, "No, I'm going with my dad, and I'm not coming back."
We get conflicting shit all the time. People,
but here's the thing. Everything
people lie to us all the time.
Right. But here's the thing. What I have, and that's what I would love to do, sit down with you and go over what I have, because I have statements from Mary Ann on Facebook, okay? And it shows her pictures, shows her making a statement, and she talks about everything. She even blames me for this and that. So there, it's not like. But here's the thing too. Me and Mary Ann were not having no conflict when Mackenzie died at all. I was giving that woman money all the time. Mackenzie was coming to my bar and borrowing $25 from me. Well, not borrowing it, but asking for $25 for lunch money. Then I find out after Mackenzie dies that Mackenzie was on free lunch. She didn't need lunch money. Then I find out Mary Ann was using $25 to pay a tanning salon to 10. So I was paying for anything. See what I'm saying? And Mary Ann's going to blow up anybody that they've already died. See, I already know that, and I believe this. You were going to say, I don't know what I'm talking about, but I know I was set up on my daughter's memorial. Alright, everybody. Like I said, I wanted to play. That was Ryan McFarland. If anybody wants to know now, I can answer the questions. That was Ryan McFarland, which is the lead detective on Mackenzie's case. And the thing about it is I'm sitting there telling him, this is the law, this is how things are done, and he argues, and then when I show him facts, documents I had and stuff, and then he tries to, sweep it under the rug and play dumb. Just like he tried to tell me that you couldn't test for drugs in a system. And no, Holly, I didn't get all my tapes back. But they said that we can't test drugs after so long. The drugs are gone out of the system. First of all, they did the internal DNA swabs on my daughter, so they already knew this was a crime anyways when the coroner got the phone call and said, "Hey, did you swab Mackenzie?" So automatically they should have known, and I showed on my report, on the coroner's report, where they had the hair and then they destroyed the hair in September. So they had hair to test for drugs within 8 hours. My daughter wasn't dead and gone that long when she was sent to Montgomery County for these tests to be done. But I proved to him that you can test for drugs even after 7 years of a person dying. And the reason I'm saying that is, what is fact is, they have proven where people were drugged with certain drugs they couldn't have tested when the person died. And when they exhumed the body, they tested for crystal lights. And that's what they do, is a crystal lights test. And that's how they find out during the crystal light test what drugs were in the system. And he tried to tell me, they don't do that, and da-da-da-da. So that's one of the things. Can everybody hear me? I know you can't see me because I'm running the camera by myself. Alright, let's see. Jamie Akins. I don't have to let anybody know that they're being recorded. In the state of Ohio, the law states that anybody can have a recording and can tape any conversation as long as it is a two-party and as long as one person knows that there is a tape recorder on. So it is not against the state of Ohio laws. The only way it is if somebody else is recording, a third party is recording a conversation between two people, then it's illegal. But as long as two people are in that conversation and one of the person, which could be the person that actually has the tape recording, is recording, it is all right to do that. It's not against the law. Alright, so what I was trying to say was, back to Ryan McFarland. Then the other thing that caught me was, I don't care who you are. I have never, ever in my entire life heard anything about a 3-sleep cycle. And that is the dumbest thing I ever heard. And he said he even went to class and learned this. And it must have been Vernon teaching the class. But you're telling me that I can go down the street, commit a murder, come back home, the detectives will come to my house and tell me, you go to bed, you get some good night's sleep for 3 days, and then we're going to bring you in and question you. That has got to be the dumbest thing I ever heard in my entire life about a 3-sleep cycle. So that's why they didn't bring Marianne and Kenny in right from the crime scene, but the Ohio state law says they were supposed to bring Marianne and Kenny in from the crime scene, and also supposed to take photographs of all injuries before they get treated at a hospital. They didn't do that neither. They didn't take no phone records. So, you know, and he's sitting there telling me, well, if I felt that this was a cover-up, that I would make sure that it was told. Really? You've had this case for 5 years, and I've proved cover-up for 12 years. And you're going to sit there and tell me, the father of Mackenzie, that that this ain't covered up? You're full of crap. So, like I said, I've never heard of this 3-sleep cycle. Then the next thing that he tells me, which upsets me, is he tells me, you need to quit dwelling on this. Man, I'm going to tell you right now, if I didn't dwell on this case, and I didn't look at every single thing on it, my daughter's case would be sitting on somebody's desk collecting dust. That's a fact. That is a fact. So to sit there and tell me I'm dwelling on my daughter's murder, man, that's the wrong thing to say to a father. I'm going to tell you that right now. That's the wrong thing to say to me. So, like I said, I want everybody to hear that tape. I haven't another tape yet to play of the prosecutor, of me and the prosecutor talking. So, I want everybody to hear that tape. I hope everybody can hear me. Alright, so another thing I want to go over with everybody before I play the next tape, like I said, just you. Yeah? God, man. I'm sorry, everybody, man. I'm trying my hardest. Alright, so, can somebody give me thumbs up that you can hear me now? Alright. What I want to go over, like I said, is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna play the prosecutor and me discussing some stuff too. And hopefully everything's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and play it. Once I play the tape, like I said, it's a little bit behind on my phone. So when I play the tape, I want to, can somebody let me know that you can hear the prosecutor?
You've reached Captain Ryan McFarland, Fayette County Sheriff's Office. I will take your call right now, so if you leave a message, I'll get back with you. Thank you.
At the tone, please leave a message. To stop recording, press the pound key.
Hey Ryan, this is Donald Branham. When you get a chance, give me a call at 740-463-9091. Hello?
Return your call.
Hey man, what are you doing?
I'm just in the process of getting through my messages.
I've got that coroner's report that was missing.
Okay.
I'm not happy with it. I know now why it was missing.
Why was it missing?
Well, let's see. It explains in here that Mackenzie was found on her bed, on her stomach, not on her back, like I was told. It also, in here, it also states that Mary Ann's pickup truck was running. It was actually running.
Okay.
So you got a pickup truck sitting in the middle of the road, both doors open, her cell phone in it, and now I find out it was also even running. The truck was running.
Okay.
So how can that truck be sitting in the road, doors open, her cell phone in it, truck running, but she supposedly woke up in the middle of the fire?
Well, that's a good question.
Then, I couldn't understand either is, why did Joyce Danforth give a statement at the fire?
I don't know. Other than I don't know when she got there, but no, I don't know.
She left my house at 5:30 that morning and went to the house after she left my house first. She went there. Then she gives a statement, and even in her statement, she says, "It is reported that the father hates the mother, boyfriend, Mr. Mossbarger." Why would you say that?
I don't know.
She's not an investigator. She does not work for the Fayette County Sheriff's Office. She does not, it is not really nothing. You know what I'm saying? So why is she giving the coroner a report? Then, number two, I find out the coroner never even went in her room, never sealed off the room, and never collected any evidence from where the body was found.
Okay.
And when I talked to Ron Steeman yesterday, he told me that the reason that Dr. Gay couldn't go up into her room was because he would have had to use a ladder, and he was fragile, whatever that means. I don't know. I've never met Dr. Gay, so I don't even know what he looked like. But he was fragile. Okay, so then why didn't then they call in Dr. Mesker, who was the assistant and younger, to go up there? I mean, that's a crime scene. Wherever the body is found, that's a crime scene. Right or wrong?
Once it's determined an arson, yeah, crime scene, I don't know. Yeah, at the end of the day, yeah, why he didn't go in there, I don't know.
Okay, but then Mike Stiegels allows William Potter to go up in that bedroom and remove stuff that Mary Ann has at her house in a trash bag. And when I talked to Ron Steeman, he said, well, the bad news about this is whatever she's got at her house will never be able to use as evidence, because once somebody takes it, passes it on to somebody else, and they pass it on to somebody else, it's no longer, you can't say, wait, you know, it's just, you can't use it.
Right, it's hard to use. You're exactly right.
So, because Marion has these Care Bears in a trash bag, even if we was to get that trash bag and we found a male's hair on one of those bears that might match that DNA they got out of a room, how in the world are we ever going to prove that? We can't, because you can't use it.
It's going to be tough. We absolutely tough. So,
Why was, my question is, why was these mistakes made?
Well, that I can't answer because I don't know. You know, you're asking me questions about something that happened 11 years ago, and you know, most of the people that are involved are no longer here to say why did this happen, and you know, I can't answer those questions.
Okay, but here's the thing, though. There's tons of murder cases. There's tons of fire and somebody's died in that was rolling arson, and they've always collected the clothes. They've always collected stuff around where the body was found, and it even states. I even got the Ohio advisory thing of arson investigation, deaths, and injuries, and it states right here. If the body has not already been secured, the investigator's first job on arrival is to secure the area and limit foot traffic to only the investigator and medical examiner. Now the investigator would have been Bill Brown. The examiner would have been Dr. Gay. Okay, unless insinuating circumstances exist. Secure not only the body, but also secure the clothing, shoes, personal effects that may contain trace evidence such as accelerant, hair, fiber. Now, when I talked to Ron Seaman on the phone yesterday, like in this report that was missing, that now I have, Dr. Gay says that the clothes were wet. He did not say they were singed. He did not say they were water damaged. He said they were wet. And when I asked Ron Seaman, I said, wet like what? Maybe there was a accelerant on those clothes. And he said, true, but we'll never know. There's no clothes.
Right. You're right. Well, we'll never know. So, I mean, on that part,
there was mistakes made.
Most likely, yes.
I mean, you can't sit here and deny it. I mean,
no, I'm not.
I mean, I'm sitting there looking at this report, and I mean, I've read everything. And here's the two. Vernon prints in the paper that did you read? Please tell me you read the article.
I read it. I mean, I don't have it committed to memory, but I read it.
But why would you make a statement that I can't guarantee this case will ever be solved? First of all, you should never make that comment. Second of all, you shouldn't say that the clothes weren't relevant to the case. How aren't they not relevant? Please, somebody explain to me how you find a body that's dead and it's rolled in arson. The arson's what killed my daughter. You got male DNA, and you're going to sit there and tell me that the clothes weren't relevant? Please explain how they're not relevant.
I'm not going to explain to you that they're not relevant, because I think they are relevant.
So, I mean, that's, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, I've been working with you, and I've never hid nothing from you. I told you that.
Right.
But here's another thing. Ryan McFarland called me.
Okay.
In that conversation with Ryan McFarland, I asked him about digging up Mackenzie. Now, you know me better than anybody. I don't, if I catch you lying to me, you know that's what's going to happen. I've always told people that, right or wrong.
Right.
Okay. So, I asked him about the digging up of Mackenzie, and he said, well, we're waiting on some other things, you know, and we're working with him. And then he goes, oh, and by the way, Donald, he completely got off the subject. And you know, when you switch like that, the reason you don't want to discuss that detail. Now, I've got you that wants Mackenzie brought up. I got the fire marshal wants Mackenzie brought up. I've got Dr. Mesker that's saying that needs to be done because guaranteed we're going to find something. So then I've got Children's Hospital that's waiting. But I got the sheriff's office that's not doing it. Why?
I I think it's going to get done in pretty short order. I think we're just working on a date.
Well, I mean, I can go buy a shovel and help.
Well, no, I know, but it needs to be done the right way. So, I mean, I think we're just working on final coordination.
Okay.
So.
And then then Ryan McFarland said this to me, which upset me. He said the truck was my red flag. The pickup truck was a red flag to him. Now they know now I have the coroner's report that was missing. Because I did message Vernon and tell him I have it. I'm not going to hide it. I ain't got no reason to hide it because it just helps me. I'm sorry, but it does. It helps me. But Ryan McFarland said the truck was a red flag to him. But then he stated that maybe Marianne and Kenny came to the house and they really didn't know that there was a fire. And they honestly might not know that who did it. Okay, if that's true, come on, man, you're a prosecutor, and you know what I'm going to ask you. If that's true, why did Marianne and Kenny say all the stories they said?
Exactly. That's a very important question.
So why would you start trying to prove that they weren't there, that they might? What it tells me is you're going to try to waste another year or two saying, well, we're working on the truck now, and we're going to see if they really. Come on, man. If that would have been Marianne and Kenny's best thing to say was, we weren't there. We came to the fire.
Right.
My house being on fire. And then Marianne would have, like we talked about, the only thing she would have been leaving a child at home.
Right.
So if Marianne was very innocent of this, man, that would have been her best thing to say. Well, we just came home, we were out eating, and we just came home, and my house was on fire. That's not what they said. They said, and the very first statement they gave was to the Record Herald the day of Mackenzie's fire, they said, we woke up to popping and crackling and smoke.
Right.
So now my next question is, if that's true, then why was the truck sitting in the middle of the road with the doors open and the truck running and her cell phone in the front seat? And then I've even got statements here where she wrote to me in a Facebook statement and said, I called 911, and she didn't call 911.
Okay.
So all these lies that she's told, I don't understand why those two haven't been brought back in.
Well, I think they're going to be, and I think we need to get Mackenzie brought up. That's what needs to get done, and I think that's in the works.
Okay.
Once that gets done, or once we get that deadline, I think Brian's going to let both you and Marianne know about the same time.
Okay.
So, and then we're going to go there.
Okay.
So let's get her up. Let's see if there's any DNA in there. See if there is anything, and there may be, there may not be. So
right.
But we don't know until we do it.
But it still doesn't. I mean, it still doesn't answer for the mistakes that they made.
No, but I mean that's the cards that we have at this point in time.
Right.
I mean, yeah, whatever's been done, good or bad, I can't go back and change. We have to prosecute the case as it is.
Right.
If there were mistakes made, there were mistakes made, and we deal with it as a prosecutor's office. If they did everything right, then that makes our life easier. But sometimes our life is just not that simple.
Right. Well, you know that there was mistakes made. The clothes being destroyed was one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I wish the clothes weren't destroyed, but I'm not worried about it being mistakes made, not made. It's just a case. It's a factor of this case that we're going to have to deal with if we ever go to trial.
Well, why would this coroner's report, why did that come up missing?
I have no idea. That's Dr. Gay's record, and then it would become Dr. Mester's record, and why it would have come up missing, I have no idea.
And then the next thing is...
That's questions you need to ask Dr. Mester, because it's not mine to have kept.
Right. Because even Dr. Mesker told me, he said the last thing that was filed in Mackenzie's file was May 31st, 2006. But the order of the clothes being destroyed, this report right here was never filed in there.
Okay.
So, and I mean, you got to understand red flags. Do you understand my red flags?
I understand.
I'm looking at stuff that would be basically known facts that you're supposed to do with a crime scene and everything, and somebody with the length of time that Dr. Gay was a coroner and then his experience, he would not have made these mistakes other than somebody wanting those mistakes to be done.
I don't know. I'm not going to say that, because and we're all capable of making mistakes, and whether he did or didn't or whatever the reasons for anything done, I don't know, and I don't know those answers, so I'm not going to say anything else on it.
Okay. Hey, we'll let you know too. Kenny Mossbarger's brother, Brad Mossbarger. I have a police report here. He came into Walmart and attacked me and my son, Harrison. And in front of two women. One woman was 51 years old, the other one was 75 years old.
When did this happen?
Friday. He threatened to beat our asses and everything. He walked by the aisle. We were in the middle of an aisle. He walked by the aisle, and I guess he turned around and came back. And then he came into the aisle and he said, F you, mother effers, I'm going to beat your, blah, 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 blah. There is a police report on it, and Schumann also requested the video from Walmart. But I do have the police report, and then the two women, I guess, later on went to the police department and also filed a report.
Okay.
So I just wanted you to know that, because that's something, why are you coming out, here, I'm just trying to solve my daughter's case. Why would you attack me?
It's certainly, although that doesn't mean he had anything to do with it. It just, unless his brother said, Kenny put me up to it, which he's never going to say.
Right. But I'm just saying that the police department does have it, and the police department also said they was going to have the tape, the Walmart video, because the other incident where the guy approached me about babysitting Mackenzie, and now the sheriff's office lost the video and stuff to that. But I just wanted you to know, so you can get a copy of that police report if you want it for the file. I will make a copy of this coroner's report and get it to you, though.
Alright, I appreciate it.
Because it's something you don't have, and then when you read it, it explains a lot more than, and that's what I'm saying. This report should have been, you all should have had this.
Alright.
This is his, going to the scene, who he talked to, what firemen said, where they found Mackenzie. You all should have had this.
Yeah.
And you don't, and you didn't.
So, if you'll get it to me, I'd appreciate it.
Oh, I will.
Okay.
All right, Jesse. Thanks, man, for calling me back. Thank you. Bye. All right, everybody. That was the prosecutor. That was, like I said, there's a lot of tapes I haven't played and stuff. I just want to let everybody know, what's been going on in the years of everything and what I've been dealing with, and a more understanding. And as you can tell, he didn't want to talk to me. He didn't want to answer my questions with a direct answer. He more or less wanted to beat around the bush and just kind of tell me what I wanted to hear. One of the things, like I said, he knew that there was, I'm not going to call them mistakes, because mistake is something that you make, once. This is a lot of errors that were made by supposedly professional people, and they should be held accountable for it. They're the ones that were investigating Mackenzie's crime. They're the ones that made the errors. They know they were making the errors because, like I said, a lot of the stuff that you do at a crime scene has been going on for years. It's the same routine every day, what you do with a crime scene. And unfortunately, some weird way, Mackenzie's wasn't done that way. Now, just like today, I called Vernon Stanford 3 times on the phone. I called Ryan McFarland twice on the phone. I called the sheriff's office on the phone. And I called Jesse Weed on the phone today. Today I did. And all those calls were ignored. Every one of them was ignored. They didn't want to talk to me. They didn't want to say nothing to me. And, you know, all I'm asking for is answers. All I'm saying is, hey, why don't you answer the questions that I'm asking? The community wants to know, why did this happen? Why did this happen? Why did this happen? And the thing of it is, they agreed to all this. They know that it happened, but then nobody's being held accountable for it. Instead, we're going on another year, and still, they ain't done nothing whatsoever about Mackenzie. So, you know, it don't make no sense whatsoever. And that's what I'm trying to tell everybody. I have been fighting this for years. Years I've been fighting this and pushing for Mackenzie's case. And you all know, standing here today, is still unsolved. It is still sitting here in Fayette County, and it's not going nowhere at all. And, you know, just like me calling the prosecutor, that prosecutor represents Mackenzie. That prosecutor represents me. I have every right to ask that prosecutor what's going on with my daughter's case. And I deserve a straight answer, not around the bush answer. Number 2, I have the right to ask for certain things to be done on my daughter's case. Things, and like I said, I'm not no law enforcement or anything, but I'm pretty smart what I'm doing with my daughter's case. And I can tell you right now, we have DNA out there that has not been checked at all. And they're facts. I can tell you guys they're facts. I don't lie to you guys. I've never lied to the community about anything. Just like William Potter. Okay, we'll go to William Potter. William Potter's DNA was collected. How do I know that William Potter's DNA was collected? And that's because I did talk to today the actual detective that took William's DNA and handed it to Detective Brown. That William posted his DNA paperwork on the Facebook page, and I called down to the Kentucky State Police. I asked for the detective. I talked to the detective, and he told me, yes, he did collect his DNA. But once he handed to Detective Brown, where it went from there, he don't know. So, do we know for a fact that they ran William's DNA? No. Do I believe they ran William's DNA? No. And the reason why is because 3 people, only 3 people in 12 years, DNA has been ran. 3 people's DNA. And I'm one of them. So that only leaves 2 more. And I already know who the other 2 are. So those 3 are covered. All 3 came back negative. So, I told you guys last week about how many males were on Marianne's side of the family. Male people. And if they only ran 3, and they only sent 3 results back to Fayette County, and all 3 were negative, who the hell did they run? Because I can tell you right now, they didn't run Kenny's, and I don't believe they ran Williams. And till they can prove to me that they did, I want the damn word they got to say. But I can tell you right now, standing here, 2 days before my 12-year anniversary of my daughter's death, that only 3 people in 12 years DNA has been ran. Only 3. Now, I got a message today And that message said that there was a pedophile, his name is Jesse Potter, and that he was charged with rape of a minor, did 8 years, and he lived right around the corner from my daughter's house. So that tells me the Fayette County Sheriff's Office didn't even run anybody that has been charged with a sexual crime in Jeffersonville. They never even ran their DNA. Never asked for their DNA and ran it to see if one of those might have been in my... That's what I'm saying, you guys. You guys think I'm playing around. People want to sit there and say, oh, he ain't doing nothing. Man, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm fighting harder than I ever fought. And the thing of it is, all I'm asking is support from the community. Because let me tell you something. It could be your child next. And if you guys don't realize and you guys don't see what is going on with Mackenzie's case, it could happen if something happens to one of your child. So when I go and I stand up on the courthouse lawn next week in front of the prosecutor's office, I hope and pray to God I'm not the only one standing up there by myself. Like I said in my story to my daughter, it is a sad day that when you can't even support the death of a child because you're afraid that somebody in Fayette County is going to see your name on my page supporting what happened to this little girl. I'm ashamed that I can't get agencies that know the facts, know the truth, but they're more worried about their name being posted on my page and about Mackenzie's justice. So that instead they don't say nothing. They just stay out of it. And that's why in 12 years I haven't had an advocate to support me or help my family or help me fill out paperwork. I've never had anybody go in with me to the prosecutor and sit down and hear what the prosecutor's got. That's what I said, man. You know, I don't wish this on anybody of what I've been through, but I can tell you right now, I've been through hell. I've met the devil. I've whooped his ass, and I'm back. But you guys have got to realize that this is going to happen again if we don't get these murderers off the street. Okay? You got somebody out there that was at that house, and we don't know who he is. We don't have a clue who that person is that was at that house that night that Jamie identified. We don't have a clue. The sad part about it is the mother and the father know, or the mother and the boyfriend know who was at that house that night, who raped my daughter, and who set that fire. They know the answer. But Fayette County's going to sit on their ass instead of bringing those two in and questioning them and doing an interrogation the right way. But first of all, you got to have somebody that's trained, somebody that don't believe in the three sleep cycle, that knows how to do their damn job. I told you guys, the only thing that Fayette County Sheriff Vernon Stanford knows how to do is arrest people that smoke marijuana. Anything else, they are not qualified to handle that case. Unqualified to handle a homicide case. And it's a shame to bring somebody in and handle my daughter's case because they're afraid that person is going to see all the mistakes that I saw that they did. That's the only reason nobody brought in here. Y'all heard the prosecutor, almost a month ago? And the prosecutor said, well, we're going to call BCI and we're going to call Columbus detectives and we're going to have them come down here on this homicide and see if there's anything. You know what? That's the biggest mistake. Everybody goes and sees Vernon Stanford. They're not coming to seeing the father and seeing what the father has. They're going straight to Fayette County and listening to the bullshit that rolls off their tongue, and they sit there and they say, well, I don't know, man, you ain't got enough of this, you ain't got enough of that, there ain't nothing we can do, so have a nice day. That's the problem right there. That prosecutor represents my daughter and represents me. If he was bringing in a detective, outside detective in this case, the first thing he ought to do is let him meet me, the father, and let me show what I have. So that tells me the prosecutor is for the sheriff's office. So my job now is get rid of the prosecutor, because anybody that don't have a degree as a prosecuting murder, arson, homicide don't need to be on my daughter's case. Don't need to be even touching this case. Because all they're doing is sniffing somebody's ass and letting them get by with what they got. The prosecutor has the right to hold any deputy, any sheriff in contempt. I can prove mishandling. I can prove preservation. I can prove obstruction to justice. I can go on and on and on and prove exactly. And how can I see it? How can a million people in this world see it? But the Fayette County Sheriff's Office and the prosecutor can't see it. Explain that one to me. I'm just telling you guys, man, it's something that is unbelievable. I'm going to show you guys something I wrote up here on the board. And I want everybody to see what I wrote up here on the board, if you can. Let me back up a little bit and get it straight. Alright. What we got here is, alright, investigating. Since 2006, investigating. 12 years, we're still investigating a murder and a rape with DNA for evidence. Over here, we're investigating an arson, 12 years, and we have accelerant and other evidence to that case. And here, down here, we're going on 11 years, the theft of my daughter's headstone being stolen off her grave. And we have affidavits, we have other evidence, still ongoing investigation. Then we drop down here and we got a letter that came to my house and it has DNA on the envelope, and now it's a year old, going on 2 years, and that's the big word right there, unsolved. Now, this is my daughter, Mackenzie Taylor Branham's investigation, and I've got 4 crimes. All of them carry a felony. Every one of them is a felony. And they're still unsolved 12 years later. 12 years later and still unsolved. That's what they're investigating right there. And the bad part about it, they have evidence. They have DNA, they have accelerant, they have affidavits and witnesses, and they have DNA on the envelope. And still today, they have not yet solved any of those crimes. Any of them. So, as the voice of Mackenzie, all I can say is this is so unfair to her. This is unfair to Mackenzie Taylor. I'm just letting everybody know it's unfair to her. They showed so many disrespect, so much disrespect to that little girl. And then on top of that, they showed disrespect to the father and to her brothers, sisters, and family. So, like I said, 12 years going on, 4 felony, and they're all still under an investigation. Every one of them still under investigation. And then you got Vernon Stanford saying, I'm a disgruntled father. You're damn right I'm disgruntled. You're damn right I'm disgruntled. Sorry you guys about my internet. I don't know what hell. They're probably, like I said, every time I want to talk about something, it gets screwed up, my internet. Especially when I play the tapes to everybody. They don't want everything to be heard. They don't want, you know, like I said, the truth to come out of what's going on with my little girl's thing. So, like I said, week, I am going to protest at the prosecutor's office in front of the courthouse lawn. I will give a time and a date when I'm doing that, but I hope everybody comes out and stands there with me for justice for Mackenzie. I think this prosecutor needs to be removed since he don't want to do his job. He don't want to talk to the father no more, and that's his job. That's his title. He's a prosecutor. He's supposed to talk to me. He's supposed to let me know everything that's going on. He's supposed to know why this has gone 12 years. He should know why 4 these felonies are still unsolved today. And there's, like I said, there's a bunch of DNA that ain't even been ran. Hasn't even been ran, DNA. So, I'm going to wrap it up tonight. I just wanted everybody to understand what I'm going through, why I'm fighting like I am fighting this town. It's not over with. They're not going to shut me up. They're not going to stop me from telling the community the truth of, like I said, I've given them everything. They owe me answers. They need to explain to me why the things that happen. They owe me that much. And the reason they don't want to is because they're afraid of being sued. And the reason they don't want to bring in somebody on the outside into this case is because that person would see exactly what I see. I guarantee you, I can make a believer out of them that this is a cover-up. And you can tell. You can tell when they talk to me on the phone. You can tell when they get mad and want to argue with me because I'm trying to prove what's facts. And like I said, they could have tested her hair, but they destroyed it. Why? Everybody knows you can still test hair, and you can still do it for 7 years, and test for crystal lights. You know, but one thing, like I said, I wanted everybody to hear was, this is the cops. This is their training they go through. So remember, you can go out here and murder somebody, and they'll wait 3 days after you had 3 days of sleep. Then they'll bring you in and question you about that murder. Man, oh man, I just hope when they do that, that person in that 3 days while they're supposed to be sleeping, they're out here murdering somebody else. Because that's got to be the dumbest law I've ever heard. And boy, I like to meet the person that wrote that law, and I like to meet the person that trained our officers to let murderers sleep for 3 days before they bring them in and question them about a murder. So if you guys don't understand why I'm fighting as hard as I'm fighting, then I don't know what else to tell you guys. I really don't. I just hope that everybody will help with Mackenzie's Memorial Fund. I hope that everybody will come out when I protest and stand beside me and ask why this is going on and why this happened. That's all I can say. Is I just hope everybody, like I said, will support Mackenzie and support me. I've never lied to you guys. I try to show you everything I can show you. Like I said, William's DNA was collected. That is true. It has been verified today. I talked to the detective with the Kentucky State Police. But as far as has it been run, I don't believe it has. Like I said, there's only been 3 results. All 3 of them were negative, and I was one of them. And I already know the other 2. So I'm not going to say how I know it, but trust me. Trust me, you guys. When I say I know something or I have something, trust me, I have it. I've never lied to this community. Never have. Never lied, and I've always shared. Every time I get something, I always share it. I told you guys that I had other tapes here, and eventually I was going to play those tapes when the time was right to play them. I feel that Mackenzie told me that this was the time. This was the time to play them, Daddy, and let people know that my case is not going anywhere as long as it sits in Fayette County. And my daughter came to me and told me what to do. That's what I've done. There's other stuff being posted about the evidence room and what happened to that officer while evidence was being missing. And the time that all that was going on, that was the time that stuff was Mackenzie's in that evidence room. And if anybody can look it up, there is a law called preservation. That is where the law is supposed to guarantee protection of every evidence that's collected in a crime scene. And Fayette County Sheriff's Office did not do that. And I'm tired of Vernon blaming everybody else, every one of his deputies, every time something goes wrong, it's their fault. He is the chief of command. He is the guardian of our community. He is the one that we voted and put in there that is to protect and serve. And he has not yet done that. And he just went to another trip in Colorado for a week where he was a mentor to 28 other sheriffs. And in that comment, he put in there that he is training sheriffs how to communicate with the community. Awful funny. I called twice today and he ignored my phone calls. So he ain't communicating with the community. He ain't communicating with the victims. He is doing nothing but preparing himself for a new career and leaving Fayette County and leaving Mackenzie's case behind. If you guys don't believe me, there ain't nothing else I can tell you. I know what is facts, and I can prove these facts. So, when you go around and you blame the dead and you blame deputies for every time something happens up there at that sheriff's office, it tells me you're the reason and you're the problem. Because, you know, you can't go into a place of work and you're training 3 people to unload a semi and one of them backs out of there and the forklift falls off the trailer. It ain't the forklift operator's fault. It's the person that trained the forklift driver. So, like I said, they have a job to do and they're ignoring their job. They don't want anybody else to come in there. That's the whole reason of Mackenzie's Memorial Fund, is so that I can get it out of this county. Without that fund, I can't, there's nothing else I can do other than go stand up there at the sheriff's office every day and let them look at my face. I know there's things like I'm waiting on Monday to happen, next Monday. When that happens, I'll let everybody know what comes out of that meeting. I have another meeting coming up, and I'll let everybody know what comes out of that meeting. But like I said, you guys, this is about my little baby girl. She did not deserve to be raped and to be set on fire, and for this sheriff's office to ignore that. And to let everybody know, too, I've asked the Washington Courthouse Police Department to take over my daughter's case, too, because another law enforcement, if they agree to it, can, and I was turned down. So, just to let everybody know, I've done everything I can. I'm putting the trip to Washington, D.C. on hold because I found out there was another way that I could do it that won't cost as much money to do what I need to do. And if that comes through, then that's great. If it don't, then I'll be going to Washington, D.C. But like I said, you got a sheriff here that's traveling, and you know the Record Herald, they love putting it in the paper. What a great person he is. What a great person he is. But you got to remember one thing. Vernon P. Stanford is the one that made the comment. His comment was, this is a #1 priority. If it's a #1 priority, why are you going on all these vacations? Hell, you're going on as many vacations as Mary Ann did. So, I just want everybody to know what was going on tonight. I'm going to end this video. I'm sorry that I couldn't be where you could see my face and stuff. I'm sorry for the interruptions. Like I said, I'm one man. I'm trying to do this the best way I can and try to share this information with you guys. So, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play a song. Oh, yeah, or who? if you guys could, I appreciate if you guys could put hearts for Mackenzie tonight. She's here with everybody tonight. Mackenzie is here tonight.
I'm just jealous of the angels around the throne tonight.
I just want everybody to know, Friday, like I said, will be my daughter's 12-year anniversary of her death. So, what I'm going to do is on Friday, I have a flagpole here with butterflies on one of my flags in her garden over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to release balloons Friday at 7 o'clock for in honor of my daughter. It will be at 765 Petticourt Avenue at 7 o'clock Friday. I'm going to release balloons for Mackenzie, and anybody's more than welcome to come. I was going to do it at her grave, but I know there will be people showing up at the grave that I really don't want to see or meet with. Just to keep problems from happening, I'm going to do it at my home. And like I said, I live at 765 Petticoat Avenue, Washington Courthouse. And I am going to do a launch for Mackenzie at 7 o'clock. So anybody that wants to come out and release some balloons for Mackenzie, you're more than welcome to do so.
I can see your tears.
I'll be there in a hurry when you call.
Yes, I will.
Friends are there to catch you when you fall.
Here's my shoulder.
Here's my shoulder, you can lean on me.
Listen.
Oh, there's a child who was sick and begging to be free. Oh, there is no cure for his disease. He looks up to his mother as she holds his hand, praying that someday the sun will shine again.
And the pain?
And the pain will end. I am here. I am here. You don't have to worry. You don't have to worry. I see your tears. Your tears. I'll be there in a hurry. I'll be there when you fall. Friends are there to catch you when you fall. Here's the song. Here's my shoulder. You can lean on me. Tell me how can I love Jesus when I've never seen his face? Yeah, I see your time and turn away. So hold my hand. Let me take you to a friend of mine that's waiting just to ease your troubled mind.
Yeah. He loves you more than you'll ever know.
Instead of walking away, open up your heart and say, I am here. You don't have to worry. You see me, you got me. You told me to be there to catch you when you fall. Here's my shoulder to you. Here's my shoulder you can lean on me. Lean on me, yeah. Here's my shoulder you can lean on me.
You're my friend, but you're also my brother.
Here's my shoulder.
You can lean on me. Hallelujah.
Thank you everybody for tonight. And like I said, I'm going to post on there about the balloon launch on Friday at 7 o'clock. Most likely it's going to be right here at my house. If not, I will let everybody know. If not, I might do it at the Iman Park, and where there's more parking spots and stuff. It depends on how many people want to come out and release some balloons for Mackenzie. Like I said, this Friday will be 12 years my little girl's been gone. So I hope everybody comes out and supports it, and we're going to get justice. Trust me, Daddy's not giving up. Daddy's going to fight harder than I've ever fought. Now that I know what's facts, and I know that my little girl was raped, I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight as hard as I can, and like I told Fayette County, look out, because here I come, and I'm not joking with it. The excuses are done. We're tired of hearing y'all's excuses of why things were done, why things weren't done. We're tired of hearing them. We want answers, and we want answers now. So I thank everybody, and you guys have a good night, and thank you for being here tonight with me and Mackenzie.